Welcome to Marketing in Your Car, the podcast for funnel hackers everywhere. You are now part of a small group of underground entrepreneurs who are trying to change the world through the products and the services that we believe in. But because we don't rely on venture capitalists, we don't have financial safety nets. So we have to do things differently. We have to do things smarter. We do that through an art and a science that we call funnel hacking. Now, this podcast will give you a glimpse at the daily life of a funnel hacker. So let's get started. All right, everybody, welcome back to day number 3. I hope that you've enjoyed this behind-the-scenes glimpse. I am still in my office, still grounded, still not having a book done. I'm praying that tomorrow we get to hang out again because I miss you guys a lot. So with that said, I'm going to cut over. You're going to have a chance to listen to episode number 3 or part 3 of this presentation I gave the 100K group. You're going to get behind the scenes of Epiphany Bridge stories, new opportunities, all the cool stuff that's going to be coming out in the new Expert Secrets book on April 18th. You guys get a sneak peek of it today. So with that said, go check it out. I'm going to get back to book editing mode, and hopefully we'll be able to hang out live again tomorrow. Thanks everyone so much for everything, and we'll talk to you guys soon.
All right, so now we're going to, because now like everyone, I'm the funnel guy, so let's talk about funnels, right? So now that we've got the foundation stuff out of the way, so then it comes to like, how do we build a funnel? There's the lid. So for me, the funnel, like everyone thinks there's some magic. I have people all the time like, hey Russell, do you have an MLM funnel you can give me so I can blow my MLM? Like, I have a funnel that's worked for someone I can give you. Like, hey, I'm doing this. Like even like the book funnel, I was snickering a lot yesterday. Everyone's like, I need a book funnel. How your book funnel to work? It's like, well, kind of like y'all have the funnel now. Like that's like the framework, but that's not like what makes it work is this stuff we've talked about, right? The pieces don't change. Like my funnels are not complicated. If you look at my funnels versus like, I have friends who like to brag about the complexity of their funnels. Like they're like insane. My funnels are so simple. They're usually 4 or 5 pages and that's it. Like I'm very simple in my thing. I think, in fact, I was at a Confusionsoft thingy and I was watching these guys and they had like all of and these guys were building out these funnels that had like 1 billion different segments and all this stuff. And like, you know those Confusionsoft charts that show like all this thing? And I was just like sick to my stomach. I'm like, oh, and they're like, yeah, well like if they click here, then it takes them this sequence. If they don't, they take them to here. And then if they've done this thing for 3 days and they haven't done this, and they go here and then like all this stuff. And I was like, and they have like 1 billion different branches. And I'm looking at that, I'm like, you know the problem with that is I have no idea what the crap to fix if something's broken. There's so many things. I want 5 or 6 variables max. I want my cost per ad. I want my landing page conversion. I want my sales thing. I want 4 or 5 things. And I'm going to go and spend $1,000 drive ads. I'm going to stop and look at it and be like, okay, cool. It's one of these 5 things that's broken, or maybe 2 of them. Let's fix just those. But when you got a thing that's got 8,000 sequences, like I cannot make it better. What's more important is become better at selling. Like me getting better at telling a story is better than 8,000 different segmentations of lists. I'll make way more money by becoming better at telling my story than I ever will from the guy that didn't click on email 13, send him this one instead, and then send this one at 2 in the morning, and then like, holy crap, like just sell yourself better, and that's like worth 1,000,000 times more than that, right? So make them simple, like all my, everyone's cheering back here, yay, simple funnels. Like my stuff's all very, very, very simple. But I become a master at understanding this, the opportunity switch to the opportunity stack. So I'm just gonna talk about a book funnel, but this could be any funnel, it does not matter. The first thing I'm looking at is what is the opportunity switch? It's usually a video of me telling a story about the opportunity switch. So with my book funnel, I'm telling a story about my book, my epiphany story, about how I had my opportunity switch and how this book is going to give you that same thing as well, right? Like that's the key. That's the magic. If I'm doing a webinar, what am I doing? I'm telling a story about my opportunity switch, tell the epiphany story. They had the same epiphany, they're sold. I don't have to sell them anymore. If I'm selling supplements, same thing. Tell them the story, how did my epiphany pitch? Like it doesn't matter what it is. Like that's the key is I'm telling a really good story about how I had my epiphany, and if I do the job right, they'll have the same epiphany, and then they'll buy the first product. Okay? And from there, it's coming, and the biggest thing most marketers do when they start creating their upsell, downsell sequences is like, hey, what else do we have on the shelf we can sell them? Okay, they bought my book, let's sell them, I don't know, something like some other random thing, right? Or they bought the book, let me sell more of that same kind of thing. Now, in the supplement world, this is like the default. E-commerce / supplements, it's kind of like, remember AEIOU and sometimes I and W or E and W, whatever that is. Like there's two times this rule breaks. In supplements and e-commerce, whenever I sell on the first page, so if I sell supplements and I sell 3 bottles, my upsell is always 6 bottles of the exact same crap. If I sell e-commerce, We just did a campaign for FiberFix, like 3 FiberFix, I'm upselling a crap ton more FiberFix. Like it's e-commerce and supplements, you sell more of the same thing on the next page. Only time you do that. In information products, that will kill you, okay? First time I really got this, it was when we launched our 108 split test book, which is kind of ironic because like the whole book's about split tests. And we launched this book and like the landing page converted and none of the upsells did. And I was so pissed. I'm like, why is this not working? And I retweaked this offer probably 12 times. I changed the video, changed the pitch, changed the offer, changed the thing. I was like, why is nobody buying this crap? Like the main thing I was selling is like they bought a book on split tests, and my upsell was like this whole course on split testing. I'm like this is all the cool stuff you need. Like, why? Like you told me you wanted split testing. I'm selling you more split testing. Like, why are you not buying that? And I had one of my friends who went through my funnel and bought it, and he texted me. He's like, hey man, cool book. Thanks for selling, or whatever. Thanks for the book. And then he's like, I bet your upsell is not converting. And I was like, I didn't tell anyone because like the conversion, like that's my thing. Like why would you say that? He's like, I can just tell. I'm like, well, like I'm just curious. Like why would you assume that? And so he shot. Anyway, it's Tim Irway, for any of you guys who know him. He shot me this message. He's like, dude, because you did the cardinal fail of upsells. I was like, all right, like, yeah. So what was the cardinal rule again? And he told me, he said, when somebody buys your first product, like think about this. Let's say it's my gear, the Truth About Abs, right? I want abs so bad, right? So I buy Truth About Abs. Now my mind as a consumer, I'm like, I've got abs. That itch has been scratched. I'm like, oh, sweet, I got abs. Whew. And then here it's like, hey, I'm gonna give you workout videos so you can get abs. Like, dude, like I already got abs. I just bought them. Like it's done. My itch has been scratched. And he's like, when people bought your split test book, in their mind, like that itch has been scratched. It's done. Like nothing you do will get people to buy more of that. I was like, but like they raised their hand as people interested in split tests. Like, nope, that itch has been scratched. He's like, you gotta look at like, you just did an opportunity to switch. What is the next thing they need to be more successful with that? What's the stack? Like, what's the next logical thing? I was like, for me, I was like, well, if they scratch search on conversion's awesome, but they're only coming to the website, then they're kind of screwed, right? So for me, traffic was the next thing. So we shifted that to like, what's the opportunity stack? Now you know how to make your pages convert. Now let's get people to actually show up. Switched it and stacked the next opportunity. Boom. I was like, crap, that was so easy. Now everyone in my funnels look at that, like it's like the psychology of, okay, first lead is the switch. Now we've got them believing. And the cool, like, this is why I love free book offers, why I like low-end things, because the lower the barriers initially, like, all I have to get them to do is to raise their hand and say, yes, I'm gonna buy your book. And by saying that, they've subconsciously sold themselves on like, I have now switched off at the opportunity. Like, this is now my future. I'm a guy who has six-pack abs. Like they've made that switch. Even though as soon as you pull a credit card out of your wallet, you are voting. Like, that's why like we don't do customer surveys and crap because I don't care. We get people to vote with their credit card because that's the only thing I actually believe. Every time we do like focus groups and all that kind of crap, people give you whatever. I only care about people voting with their credit card. So as soon as they pull a credit card out of their wallet, they have voted that this is the opportunity that they are buying into. They're done. And so the next thing is just like, okay, you've already bought into this now. So that's why I like making this first opportunity switch as low barriers is easy because as soon as I get them to sell it, like subconsciously, like they're 100% in. Now the stacks become easy. Like, hey, well, you got this, now you need this. And then people always ask me like, well, how many upsells should I have? What should be the price points on it? Da, 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 da. Like, it has nothing to do with price points, has nothing to do, like none of that crap matters. People are like, well, should I go from free to 97 to 290? Like, what's the, like, and everyone worries about that. It has nothing to do with that. It has 100% to do with what's the next logical thing this customer needs to have success in the new opportunity I just gave them. So this might be a $25,000 offer, if it makes sense, if that's the next logical thing that they need, or it might be $37. Price point does not matter. It's the logical sequencing of the offers that is the key. That's what makes any funnel work, is the logical sequencing of offers.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
So with the opportunity switch, is that more emotional, and then the opportunity stack is more logical?
I don't think anything logical sells. I always justify things logically, but it's still emotionally.
Well, you've got you've got emotion and logic here. Is that, am I getting that wrong? That's the epiphany bridge.
Yes, sorry. So, so the emotional part's the selling. So the logical is like that, how they explain to their wife, like why they spent $25,000 or $100,000. Like, how do I explain to my wife, like, yeah, I spent $100,000 to go on this thing because like it's gonna be really good for my business. Like, no, I just want to hang out with like Ian and Joe and everyone, like, right? Like, we emotionally get bought in, but I'm still always selling from emotion. I'll talk about the logical justifications in the videos and stuff like that, but it's still emotional.
The opportunity stack.
Yeah, 100%.
And how do you extend that story, that epiphany story? It's
a new story. It's a new story.
It's a new story.
Yeah, so it's like, here's split testing. It's like, cool. So let me tell you a story. After I got, like, I'm sending this book out to you in the mail. You guys are gonna go crazy for it because it's gonna show you split testing. And for me, when I started getting into split testing, I was really excited. But the problem was, I didn't really have traffic coming to my website. So I was doing split tests, like 3 people, like, you can't actually, it doesn't help, and I started going into the whole story. Yes. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
And sometimes multiple epiphanies. Like, I'm telling as many stories as I need to get that idea across. How many stories do you think I've told in the last hour so far? Anyway, the more the merrier. It's not like, what's my one epiphany bridge story? Like, usually it can be multiple. And anytime I explain something that's confusing, I gotta step back. Again, like, well, it's kind of like millions of motivational speakers running through your blood. That's what ketones are. Okay, and I keep moving forward. Okay, and so, yeah, like I said, like, some upsells, there's one thing, because that's the only logic thing I have. Some upsells, there's 2. Some upsells, I have one thing and I have a downsell. Like, it matters less to me what it is and more to me just like what makes sense for this customer that's on this path. I remember reading the E-Myth like 12 years ago, and one of the initial things he talked about is like the process of like somebody walks into a store. So like last week, my wife wanted to go to the mall because we're going on a cruise in 2 days, and she wanted to get some new clothes, and I hate going to the mall. But I love GNC. Like, that's like I love supplements. I take more supplements than I should every day. But I love it, right? So I go to GNC, and I think I hate about GNC, though. How many of you guys have been into GNC? What happens as soon as you walk in? They just like pounce, like it's like, they're outside, and I hate it. So I like take a breath, and I'm like, okay. And I walk through the door, and within like one step, the girl comes out, blah, blah, blah. I'm just like going through this pain, like, what are you looking for? What do you want? What do you need? I'm like, I just want to look at supplements, like, leave me alone, right? And then it's like, finally that horrible pain's gone, and she like leaves me. I'm like, okay, I can start looking, right? I remember reading the E-Myth and thinking about, like, I love GNC, but I always have this like pain going in because like the process is so weird. I became obsessed with this. Like, everywhere I go, it drives my wife nuts. Like, we're going through anything, and like the way waiter pitches me, like, depends on what I'll buy and how much I'll tip them, and like, because I want to get sold, and I'm obsessed with the process of everything from offline funnels to online funnels to everything that's happening. And so for me, I'm just looking at that, like, imagine you're your customer, okay, and they come here. Like, what's going to capture them? Like a really good video. You're going to cut out all the techno-babble. You're going to tell a really good story. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be visually good. It's not going to be me against a white wall trying to be boring. I'm going to find a good background. I'm going to make it look visually stimulating so it's cool. I'm going to tell a story that captivates them and make them an offer that's like so irresistible. It's a new opportunity that's going to change their life, and that's what we do here. Then I'm like, okay, they bought the book. Like, how can I serve them the best? Like, what's the next thing I can do to serve this person the most? Okay, it should be this. Like, do I have a product that does that? No. And that's what I need to make then. I need to make a product that does that, because it's all about how do we serve our people at the highest level. That's more important than I got a whole bunch of products. What do I plug in and where do they go? And like, should this be the upsell? Like, no, think about the process. Like, if you're walking in GNC, like if I was walking in GNC, I would change the whole process to like, hey, welcome to GNC. Here's a free power bar. Let me know if you need anything. And I'd be like, eating a power bar. I'd buy 4 times as much stuff. I'd be going through things. I'd be focusing on that customer journey, like what's happening through the process. And so for you guys, that's the way to think through this. And think like, someone buy this, like, oh man, like it's kind of expensive, and we ship them out DVDs and all this stuff. Maybe some people don't want DVDs, maybe they don't have a DVD player. Like, maybe I'll downsell them, maybe they just want a digital version. So maybe that would be my downsell, is a digital version, because that's probably what they would want. Right? But I'm looking logically, like what makes the most sense to them. And if you can craft that, that's the magic. That's how you get a funnel that converts, and how you make it work awesome.
How long on that first page, how long generally, do you have a time frame of the ideal video length? 3 minutes, 45 minutes?
This is what
or does size really matter?
So one of my professors told me one time, he's like, it's like a girl's skirt. It needs to be long enough to cover the subject, but short enough to still be interesting. So that's like my gauge in my mind always. It's like, if it's getting boring and long, then but I don't have like a timeline. It's like, how long does it take the story where it's still engaging? It might be 3 minutes, it might be 20 minutes. If I tell a good story, people will sit there. So that's more important. Yeah. Usually, but like, there's a duration to like the price of something I'm selling and how long it is. If it's a free book offer, I don't have to do a lot to get people to take that, but I still need to get them to buy into this, or else the upsells won't convert. A lot of times you see people book offers like, get my free book, it's amazing, you're gonna love it, like it's free, and that may work good for like getting people to buy initially, but it kills you everything back here because they're not bought into the opportunity switch. If you get them to buy the opportunity switch, then everything else increases from the rest of it on. Any other questions about that stuff at all? Okay, cool. All right, the last piece of this. So traffic all over the place, but I want to show you guys what's working the best for us right now. From the last page right here. So this is Anthony DiClemente. He is one of my buddies. He owns this company of biohacking stuff. So we're starting like an online reality show called Funnel Hacker TV, just because we want to with our people. I wish we had 5 hours talking about more of this, but for our customers to build the whole culture, the biggest thing that we got to do is belief. Get these guys to believe in this right here. And so what I do a lot of stuff to show beliefs. Every Friday we do a show called the Funnel Friday Show, where I'm building an entire funnel in 30 minutes, and I show them over and over and over again that I drink my own Kool-Aid, right? That I'm actually doing this, and it's the biggest thing for sales we've ever done. So we're building this reality show where basically each week we pick an entrepreneur that's got a really cool product, and we take them, figure out the product, the offers, build a thing and launch it. So he's episode number 1 that's coming out. It was him. He had no list, no following, switching markets to a whole completely different thing, but he's just really good at what he did. So we had him write a book. So this whole campaign went from zero. So I'm saying this, you don't have to have a big following for this to work. This went from zero. And in the last 6 weeks, we sold 8,000 copies of his book. He just finished his very first biohacking week in Chicago. Had a whole bunch of people pay a crap ton of money to come out there and go through the experience. And this whole business went from zero to it'll do a couple $1 million year number 1, all just from this. No other traffic source except for this. As you start going further down the cold, it's different. But for most people, you can build really good off of this. So Facebook Live, Facebook loves this right now. They are wanting all of us to do it. And so what we do, and I'll kind of give you Anthony for example. So he's got a book funnel. And so the question is what's the message? What's the best, you were asking yesterday, what's the best Facebook ad? I don't know. I have no idea what message is going to be right. Everyone responds to different things. So what Anthony has said, first thing he has to do is every single day you have to do a Facebook Live video on a different topic. Every single day for the rest of your life. And he's but I don't know if I have enough ideas. I don't care. Every single day for the rest of life, that's your only job, is to make a Facebook Live video every single day. And so what he did is he made a first Facebook Live video, and I was it's biohacking. Do the weird crap, get things with lasers up your nose and all sorts of weird stuff, and that'll be your Facebook Live. And then he did that, and nobody cared. And we did another one, nobody cared. And we did another one, and what we found out about 1 out of 10 does what we call force viral. So 1 out of 10. And what's weird is this usually the message that I think is the stupidest message ever. The first video we had that went force viral, the title of it was How to Biohack Your Vegetables. And it was hey, he's cooking. He's what you do is you put butter in your vegetables, and it's biohack now. Okay, got I don't know, 2 or 3 million views and sold hundreds and hundreds of copies of the book. And I was I thought the cool ones with the lasers in his eyes and ears would be the cool thing, but no, it's the weird. It's never what you think. So all of us we build a marketing campaign. We focus on one thing, and it's the wrong one. It's no, do a Facebook Live every single day for the rest of your life on a different message, and you'll find what the market actually cares about, what things they do. And so it's a consistency thing over and over and over again. So here's a couple things on Anthony's, just kind of prints out as a guide to help you guys, because there's a lot of questions on it yesterday. The main things, again, profile picture has a huge thing to do with people actually being part of it. The name should not be a company name. People do not want to engage in companies, and they do not want to share things from companies. They want to engage with you, the attractive character, the cult leader. All the headlines are super easy. They're things that are shareable, so it's not too complex. It's hey, cool, how to biohack your vegetables. What was this one? How to biohack, detox, and get a flatter midsection. And there's a simple call to action with the URL that's not clickfunnels.com/1234/. It's something that's also benefit driven, Biohacker's Guide. It's oh, cool, there's a guide.
Can you boost these or no?
Yeah, I'll talk about it in a second.
And you can boost with the URL. You can do that. Okay.
Yep. We'll talk about kind of that strategy here in a second. Okay, the video structure, typically, this is the structure. They're usually 3 to 5 minute videos. The first 15 seconds is hey, I'm Anthony DiClemente. And then if you have a cult like me, so hey, I'm Russell Brunson, my fellow funnel hackers, I want to talk to you guys about whatever. So we're calling them out. And then the next thing is, we ask people to share it hey, if you like this video at the end of it, if you can please share it. That way I know if you like this content, I'll make more like this. If you don't like it, don't share it, and I just won't make any more like this. Some people are that's how they're voting if they like it, by sharing, which is huge. So the first 15 seconds, we tell them to share it if they like it, and we ask them to do a favor, hey, if you think that's awesome, share it, that way I know. Huge thing. And then 4 minutes of teaching. I would say teaching / telling epiphany bridge stories is more important, but telling a good story the end of it a call to action to whatever it is your front end thing is. So go get my free book. So Anthony, every single day, he's showing one biohack, and then, hey, go get my book at biohackersguide.com. And then down here, so the very first post, as soon as he starts a video, so when you first do a video, first it goes out to your fan page, right? So Anthony had 0 people on his fan page the first probably 100 videos, right? Like nobody was there. So he just did it. And as soon as it's done, then what our guys would do is they'd come in the very first post. We try to post a link to the actual offer so that everyone sees that initially. It pulls in a picture of the product, stuff like that. So that's like somebody manually is adding that in. Now because he's got more of a following, as soon as he starts the thing, someone goes in and posts it really quick as the first comment. So it sticks there. And then it goes live. So what we do is typically, for each of these videos, it goes live, and we put about $5 behind it just to see like what's gonna happen. If you've got more of an audience, you initially don't put money behind it. If you have 0 audience, initially you put about $5 to $10 behind it just to see which ones get some traction. And then as soon as one gets traction, so the way that we judge traction is right here is the ratio. It's a 1% share to view ratio. So how many people viewed it and how many people shared it. As soon as you get 1% share view, we call that internally, it means it's a forced viral video, which means I can spend as much money as I want and it's gonna go viral and it's gonna make us a bunch of money. It's about 1 out of 10 hit that number, and then we dump as much money as we want or can or need to behind that, and it'll just kind of blow up. And so for me, like this is, like the biggest thing I can give you guys is this. Like
1% based off of views?
It's the ratio of views to shares.
Views to shares.
So this video here's got 1.4 million views, it's got 10,000 shares, so it's 1%. Huh? Ish. We're not mathematicians, we're marketers. You were definitely way smarter than me. It looks like 1 to me. So it's a ballpark, yeah. If it's close, we're gonna blow it up. That's kind of about where we're looking at. And then we can promote it. And so what's cool about this, if you think about everything we talked about earlier, right? We talked about traffic temperature up here, right? What's cool about these videos is that every video, you're learning like what people respond to, what they don't respond to. We realize like, wow, they actually care about biohacking vegetables. Let's do more things like that because they shared it. You're able to speak to different times. You can speak sometimes in technobabble, and you're gonna and it may not do as good, but you're gonna boost it to a different audience. Like for me, I might do a Facebook Live talking about funnels for network marketers, and I do it, and nobody in my page cares. But now that video, the ad's done, and my guy will blow it up to all the network marketing companies, and then boom, we get all the network marketers to come underneath this. I might do one funnels for real estate agents, funnels for some it's like carving out little pieces of the market that you can then target differently. It also helps you figure out like what people actually care about, what they're listening to, what they click on, what they share. But as of like right now, like this is such a big piece of our strategies because we're learning so much so fast. I mean, I could run 1,000 surveys and not get the same data we get from just doing a daily video every single day, consistently doing it. So from the funnel side, like that, again, those are the keys, you guys, and so hopefully that helps a lot.
Yeah. Telling us about your event.
Am I allowed to celebrate something? Just kidding. No. We do an event once a year. That's Tony Robbins is our keynote this year, and it's basically me on stage with a bunch of our. So our event's a little different. It's like me on stage, and then we've got people that are ClickFunnels members who are doing it in different markets. Like we got a really cool couple, Brandon and Kaylin. They're like in the fitness industry. They sell $149 product. They're doing, and all they do is Facebook Lives. In fact, they just do Facebook. Like they do an entire webinar pitch on Facebook Live, and they'll do. During a live Facebook Live, they do $150,000, $200,000 live on it, and they boost it afterwards and do $500,000, $600,000, $700,000. I've done, so like Jason talking about webinars later today, like if you do a whole bunch of these viral videos like this on your Facebook Live and you're building an audience and stuff's coming that's really, really good, then you come in and you do like your entire webinar. I've done 3 Facebook Lives or me doing my entire webinar live in front of everyone just talking. All of them did over $250,000 in sales. Because it's just the engagement and live, and it's really, really fun. So a lot of cool ways you can use it. Anyway, I hope that helps you guys. And yeah.
That's great. Thank you. Thanks so much for listening. We hope you enjoyed the behind-the-scenes look at our funnel hacking projects. You can also watch the Funnel Hacker online reality show and watch us build and launch funnels live at www.funnelhacker.tv. If you'd like to come hang out with your fellow funnel hackers, come join our Facebook group at www.projectclickfunnels.com. Oh yeah, and don't forget, you can get a free MP3 player with the first 257 episodes preloaded at marketinginyourcar.com. Join us next time, and remember, you're just one funnel away from your dreams.